So first of all, let's start with how did ancient India make artificial intelligence possible? Here is a very quick summary of some of the things that you might have heard of, which are connected with this, quite literally. So some of the earliest rituals, which we're going to talk about shortly, the Vedas, the altars, they required geometry and they used algorithmic thinking. The Shulba Sutras, including Bodhayana's theorem, which predates Pythagoras' theorem. In astronomy, the work of Aryabhatta and Brahmagupta, but before him for millennia, an understanding of time using mathematics. Grammar, Panini, formal language rules, which were precursors to modern linguistics, and Chandas, Pingala, binary combinatorics. So you've probably heard of some of these, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on these because there's so much that I want to cover. But these do demonstrate, quite literally, discoveries in ancient India which went on to shape the modern world that we are all living in. So Indian ideas revolutionized European science, giving birth to the modern world. Here are some manuscripts that I was looking at earlier this summer from the 12th and 13th century, and you can see in those tables the first uses in Europe of Indian numerals, Hindu Arabic numerals, of zero, of place value, of decimals, and they absolutely caught the imagination of the intellectuals of the 12th and 13th century in England, which is where those manuscripts were made. And the table on the right is a guide to how those numbers were being used. They were being used for computing time. In fact, the word computus was used in Europe to describe the calculations required to calculate when Easter falls, which is the most important of the Christian festivals. And it's a movable feast like many Indian religious festivals because it relies on both calculations around the moon and the sun. So those numbers were being used. Now, all of those numbers were being based on astronomical tables that were created by Brahmagupta in India, and they were centered around astronomical observations made in